Welcome to Pantheon Talks, or should I say Pantheon News. It is another news stream. We have 3 amazing topics that we're going to cover today. I'm sure that's why a lot of you are here to discuss probably the Superlikes, which that's going to be the first story that we're going to get into. So let's not hold back at all and jump right in. And of course, as a disclaimer, as I always like to say, I feel like whenever you're talking about any sort of news, there should always be a disclaimer. But even though that I do research for these videos and I try to, link articles, everything that I found is linked down below. Everything is Pantheon Talks opinion. They are my opinions, so take it with a grain of salt. And with that, let's enter into our first topic, the Superlike. So with Superlikes, there has been a number of controversy. There's been a lot of drama since it has been released. And the biggest issue that has really been happening with this is basically dealing with how Webtoons set up Superlikes initially and removed certain other features. But before we dive into that drama, let's just establish what Superlikes are. So I'm going to end this show and we're going to jump onto the web and we're going to read verbatim what Webtoons has to say about the Superlike program. Oh, Lumi Bento, thank you so much. They said, if you're here, like the video, show your support. Yes, that would be greatly appreciated. Please show the support if you can. All right, so what is the Superlike program? A Superlike is more powerful than a regular like. It's the most direct and impactful way for fans to celebrate and support creators who publish their content or series on Webtoon. When a fan purchases and sends a creator a Superlike for an episode they loved, the creator earns revenue from the Superlikes they receive and is notified they have super fans. The program is currently available for creators publishing series on Webtoon Canvas English language platform and is expected to launch for Webtoon original creators on the English language platform in the second half of 2024. So it kind of is giving me a little bit of Webtoon Canvas is the beta version. Could you imagine if they had removed certain features for the original creators, the outrage? Oh, Fish said, I'm so pissed about Superlikes. Okay, guys, tell me what your thoughts on Superlikes are. I want to hear your honest opinions because, let me be honest, in mine, so I'm just going to set the tone here. I'm kind of, I don't want to say neutral, but undecided. Okay, this is kind of getting into the drama a little bit, but I will say that when Webtoons removed, let's just talk about it for a second. When Webtoons removed the Patreon button when they first rolled this out, I found it kind of, what's the right word? It was kind of a slap in the face a little bit. Essentially to me, they were saying, we're creating another revenue stream for you creators in addition to your Patreon, which is true. They can't stop you from having a Patreon, but you already had Patreon integration. A lot of people were already getting the benefits of having that. And then for them to take it away in favor of their own system, I could have even seen them possibly fading it away. But for it to just be automatically removed made it feel very transparent to me as to why they were doing it. Why they were we don't want you to use Patreon. We want all the money for us. And I'm you already have all the money. You already get so much from FastPass. Okay. All right. We have more to discuss about this, but let's see. Matt said, it barely makes sense for the reader. That's the other thing. What is there to offer the reader other than a vague sense of fan superiority? Okay, Matt. So this is okay. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts about this because I will say it is kind of I do feel that Webtoons is kind of pushing a lot of responsibility to readers. And it's hard to say that because Canvas, like, they have their original side, which they support, and then they have Canvas side, which is like their redheaded stepchild. Like, basically, Canvas is Cinderella. Like, everybody is waiting to go to the ball, essentially. And so, like, every once in a while, like, Webtoons throw Cinderella, the Canvas creators, a bone, and they're like, oh, Cinderella, we've got your dress now. Oh, Cinderella, we've got your slippers now. Oh, Cinderella, let's go and get your hair done. And so, like, they'll throw out these things that seem really good on Canvas, and then they, like, fizzle and die. Because it's almost like a half-baked appeasement to just like make you feel kind of comfortable in the situation that you're in, but it's really not doing anything to benefit you. So my thing is that people have often supported people for no reason. Like, they've often kind of just been like, oh, you know what? I really like this creator. I want to give them some money because they entertain me. And I think that's kind of the idea behind the Superlike. It's like, all right, well, I really enjoy this person, this comic, this series. I don't necessarily want to sub to their Patreon, but I'm willing to give them $1. I'm willing to give them, you know, X amount of money, like no strings attached. So I kind of see it like that. And it kind of makes me think of like, not YouTube's membership. What's the other thing? Like, there's YouTube Super Chat. Is that what it is? YouTube Super Chats. That's what it kind of makes me think of. And like, people do use Super Chat on YouTube. So that's kind of the mentality that I see. And I feel like it could work. I don't know why it works, but like, we need like a marketing expert for this. Where is Leah? Okay. Delphi said, last I saw, the Patreon thing disappeared for originals as well. Oh, did they? I thought they said that the Superlike thing was only affecting Canvas. Is that not what we just read? The program is currently available for creators publishing series on Webtoon Canvas English language platform and is expected to launch for Webtoon original creators. Yeah, like, it hasn't even launched for them yet. Why would they be removing it for originals? That's crazy. Thanks for letting us know. We'll have to... Should I check? Let me know if I should check that or not, guys. Fish said, I'm totally against it. It's not a lucrative option for small creators. So, Fish, we are going to talk about that. I have some thoughts about it. And I don't want to dive too deep into it because I feel like I've already derailed from explaining like what the Superlikes is. Like, I'm trying to let Webtoon set themselves up. Like, this is what Webtoon is saying that it's supposed to be. And then I really want to say like my piece on it. So I'm trying to kind of like not be too hardcore on it just yet. Delphi said, at least the one Webtoon I checked. Okay, we're going to have to check the originals and see. I wonder if people will actually end up losing money due to the Patreon button being gone. You know, I do wonder about that, but I will say this, like, YouTube doesn't have a Patreon button, so like anybody who wants to sub to a creator on YouTube, like, has to actively like find the link or type in the creator and then go there. So I feel like I don't know if it would necessarily hurt their Patreon, but I do see that maybe someone could just spend the money on Webtoon and then keep it moving. So, I don't know. I feel like it could be a lose-lose, but it could also be a win-win or somewhere in the middle. Where, like, the people who want to sub to Patreon are going to sub, and the people who want to spend on Superlikes are going to spend on Superlikes. I don't know. Taylor said, why do I feel like I know what they removed and it's a certain link to another party's site? Yep. Taylor said, yeah, they don't want people leaving Webtoon to go into the Patreon, which is really crazy to me, because why have the Patreon integration at all then? Like, if you don't want to do business with this platform, why have it on there? Like, why set it up? Like, I would have been like, we're removing Patreon. Sorry, not sorry, and just moved on. Like, I would respect that so much more than, like, sneakily just taking it away. Cantella said, removing Patreon is a bad move. I agree. Yes, we're going to get into that. So, Novelist Nikki said, I thought they said they were adding it back, the Patreon button. So, they did say they're going to add the Patreon button back. And I I can't remember if it's added back or not yet, but we'll talk about it as well, because I also have thoughts on that, and I'm trying not to like again, I want to set them up, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts too. Fishfish said they removed the Patreon button for a reason. Poor Whittle Webtoon doesn't like Patreon getting monies. Oh, poor Whittle Webtoon. I love that. Like, that's what we should say. Poor Whittle Webtoon. As a company owner, I can understand wanting to own a piece of the IP, especially since you want to make money off of it and also pay the original creators. Webtoon makes money, but look at the splits. I would love to have you elaborate on that, what you mean. Because I agree, as a business, you do want to always make money, but you're making the money from the original creators. Like, Canvas doesn't make anything from posting on your site. Like, and I say that loosely, like, you do make something, but I just mean in terms of, like, in comparison to the originals who you should be setting up for success, really investing in. Like, why are you stealing everything? Stealing's a bad word. Let's opt out of that. Like, I need to bleep that out. But why is Canvas suffering the harsh blowback from every business decision? It's like, this is what I was saying. Canvas is the redheaded stepchild. Oh, hi, Clarice. Matt said, but they really pushing original creators to sign on. Yeah, it's really weird. Okay, Delphi said, just checked again right now, and at least on my app, the Patreon is no longer at the end of the episodes. So from what I understand, they have only made a statement about it, that it's coming back, and like it's guaranteed that it's coming back. Like, I'm just gonna say, I feel like the PR team stepped into the Webtoon office and was like, we cannot have another scandal. We just had the contract scandal. Y'all need to rein in this Superlike thing because the creators are not happy. And I will say this, I do think that Canvas creators can affect original creators, because if original creators see this coming, obviously they're already hitting up Webtoons being like, y'all are not removing our Patreon. You already take like all my fast pass money. You already take all of my ad revenue money. Like, do not do this to me, Webtoon. I'm working 80 hours a week and I'm not a millionaire. So yeah. Hi, Clarice. I can't remember if I said hello or not. Cantella said, is the percentage they cut the same for the app version and browser version? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that, Cantella. Lumi Bento said, having a Patreon button versus the Superlikes will definitely hurt your future money, but not your current money. See, that's why I say they should have left them both and made a statement like, we're going to start slowly easing out of Patreon. Like, that is so much more like marketable to people, like, so that they can expect it to come and be like, yeah, you can still advertise your Patreon, you can still push people to go to Patreon, but we're not gonna have the button on here anymore. Cat Avatar, that's what I'm keep calling you, the Cat Avatar. I just started Webtoon Patreon, post first episode yesterday, gained 3 views. It's changed. It's an infinite long way to go to the moon for me. Gotcha. Delphi said they'd put it back, but apparently it's really hard, so they didn't yet. Matt said, I honestly don't think Webtoon actually makes that much money, but we'll see in about 4 to 5 months. So, I think they make a lot of money, Matt, but I think that they're in the red. Like, I think that they're not making a profit on anything because they're in so much debt. So, like, I think they're making, like, if you look at just, like, what's coming in, I think they're making pretty good money. But I don't think that they're profitable. Oh, Matt said something else. He said, or I should clarify and say, I don't think they make that much profit. Okay, we're on the same brain there, Matt. Yeah. Josie said, hello, everyone. Hi, Josie. Okay, so let's look at this super like breakdown. So what is super like? We kind of just read that. And so it says sending super likes to creators you want to celebrate is simple. So this breaks down the process of how it's going about. So after reading an amazing episode of a series, which that's not required. I mean, if you just want to support your besties, like send them some money. Which, I mean, you could always like send them money other ways. Click the super like button on the navigation bar at the bottom left of your mobile device. So down here, there should be like a little money sign. After clicking the super like button, you will be given options to select how many purchase super likes you want to send to a creator. This confuses me, to be honest. Like, so it has 5, 15, 25, and 50. What's weird to me about this is like, so I'm sending you multiple likes, so does it make it seem like it's multiple people? Like that's like my reasoning on it. Like if I was a normal person who got on this, didn't understand super likes, and I saw like, oh man, this person has 1,000 likes on super likes on their comment, 1,000 people must like it. Like this is where I'm like the marketing for this is like off to me, but it is what it is. It said third, be sure to select whether you would like to send your super like anonymously. If you do not select this option, your username will be visible to the creator and other users. Confirm your super like and you're done. Now, or you are now a super fan. After sending a super like, the creator will be notified of your appreciation and support. Each month, creators enrolled in the super like program will be able to see a list of top readers who sent super likes to their series, i.e. super fans. Thank you for being part of the Webtoon community. We can't wait to see the top super like series this month. Super likes are available to users 18 years or older. Restrictions may apply. Please see terms here. Currently, super likes are available on eligible Webtoon Canvas series on the English language platform. The program is expected to come to Webtoon Originals in the second half. Be sure to keep an eye out for updates. Canvas creators can check to see if their series is eligible for super like programs from the dash. Read here to learn how a series can become eligible for super like program as a Canvas creator. So let's click that because we want to know. Sometimes I'm just like, Webtoon, what are you doing? Okay, it says qualify. Webtoon creators can now apply super likes to any of their eligible series to give their fans a new way to show appreciation and support. Okay, yeah, we read that. How to apply. Okay, here we go. Super like can only be activated on series that meet the following eligibility requirements. The series must have a total of 500 likes or higher. Okay. Creator and the series must follow our guidelines, Webtoon community policy and upload guidelines. Okay. Creator must be at least 18 years old or the age of majority in your state of residence. 2. If you are a creator that meets these qualification requirements, you can apply to activate super like for your eligible series by following these steps. Click on your creator name. So click here, dashboard, select the super like tab and click join. Is there not an image? Super like, then join. Okay. Activate super like for your eligible series. 500 likes or higher. Which, interesting. Why is it likes? I don't understand. Are likes important on what? Like, what? Do you get to see the overall likes on a series? That's throwing me off now. Like, now I feel like I need to look this up. Like, can you? Okay, we've gotta look this up. Like, can you see the likes on a series? And does it mean like likes in like? Maybe that's something you see in your dash. Okay, I don't know. I've only posted one series on Webtoons, so and I like post it and then I ghost it. Like I haven't like looked at my account since then. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's finish reading. As a creator, you will be able to view your Superlike analytics on your creator dashboard, including balance information for monthly total revenue, payments, payment history, lifetime earnings, Superlike history on your series, your top 3 Superlike fans each month. Okay, so we see money, top 3, Superlike lists, monthly Superlikes by episode. What is the revenue share for the Superlike program? Creators will receive 70% of net revenue. Net revenue, keyword here. Net revenues are non-refundable. Gross revenues minus a 30% deduction, which encompasses all applications and in-app fees. Okay, so 30% will go to the Apple Store and Google Play. You can review. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Attention, if you decide that the Superlike program is not for you or your series, you can cancel Superlike for an individual series or opt out of the program entirely at any time. Keep in mind that if you opt out of the program, any records will be deleted completely and can't be restored if you rejoin. You will need to wait 30 days before you may reapply to the program. Okay. I thought maybe there would be a cash out. Is there not a cash out minimum? Did I miss that? Do you guys know? Is there a cash out minimum? Like, a lot of times, like, Webtoons has done this thing where it's like, you can't cash out until you get $100. So I'm just curious. Oh, sorry, missed some comments. Cantella said, the extra hearts will confuse you on how many individual liked it. Yeah, maybe it would help the series, though. Like maybe people who see the like, do you see the likes? Like, I'm so confused. So like is the Superlikes gonna show on their own, or is it going to be added in with the other likes? Like, will you have like your normal likes and then your Superlike status? I'm very interested in this. Delphi said, because Webtoon has a ranking on the main page, I've been wondering if there are any creators giving themselves Superlikes to push their comic. Oh, definitely. I would. Lumi Bento, while Korean webtoons often have a wide range of genres, including action, romance, horror, and drama, US webtoons tend to focus more on superhero and fantasy stories. The finances are different. Is this in relation to something you said earlier? Delvig said it can work as paid advertisement, at least right now at the beginning. I don't know if people are taking it that way or not. I think some people might be. I'm not sure how to say your name. Absurdi? I'm going to just say Absurdi for now. Absurdi said, this sounds so much more needlessly complex than if they just stuck with the Patreon button, to be honest. This feels incredibly unnecessary. I'm only listening and half paying attention. Whoops. No worries. Thanks for listening, though. helping my watch time go up. I appreciate you. Matt said, you can see the overall likes of a series on your dash. Okay, so it's on the dash. So only you can see this. Got it. Delphi said, the necessity is Webtoon taking a cut. They don't if the support is through Patreon. Yeah, like, I understand that they want to get their own cut. Like, that makes complete sense to me. Like, as a business, you're constantly looking for additional revenue streams. Like, you want to see, how can I add more revenue streams to this? How can I get, like, more money? Like, how can we grow and expand more? Completely understand that. But it just seems weird. I'm sure he said you can see the overall likes on your dash plus their overall rating. Yes. Cantella said, oh, yeah, everybody's telling me you can see the likes. Clearly, y'all can tell I do not use Webtoons like I should. Lumi Bento said, if there's no cash out, that's bad. That means they can give you a percentage, and let's hope there's no goalpost. That's what I really want to know. It didn't say anything about that, but Webtoons has always done that. They've always had a threshold that you've had to meet before you could get paid. And a lot of places do that. A mill liar? I'm just going to say Amelia. I feel so sorry for creators who used to get ad share only to get it replaced with this, which is basically worse than nothing. Imagine waiting for years only to have them remove Patreon. Interesting. I didn't know they took away ads completely. Like, did they say they're completely replacing that program? I thought they were adding another revenue stream. Unless I missed something. Y'all let me know. Alright, let me pull up the PowerPoint and we can get back into this. Play from current. Alright. Okay. So as we were just looking at this, let me just go through why do things always come back to contracts with us? Let me explain. So, from what I understand, just to answer Amelia here, the ad revenue program is still going on, but they're adding Superlikes as well. I would have to do a little more research, but I feel like Webtoon Canvas, Webtoon everywhere would be up in a roar if the ad revenue program was gone. So, I want to say it's still there. Now, going back to what I was going to say about this. So this is why it's so important to get a lawyer for contracts. Because legalese can be super confusing, and like when people are talking about net and gross profits, like you can have things confused about what's what. So like in your mind, you might be thinking, oh, 70%, that sounds so good to me. 70% of $1, like that makes so much sense to me. Like I'm getting a majority of it. But then it has all of these caveat sentences afterwards that's really like reducing your share amount. And so let me just say this first off. I did not do the calculations for this. So somebody I found on Twitter had a financial breakdown of how everything was working. So they were like on a scale, like let's say you're getting $100. Okay. So $100, 30% of that is going towards the app store. So like Google or Apple or whatever. And so they were saying like 30% of the $100 is going to that. So that's $30. And so now you're at the net revenue that you will receive. So after the fact, after the app has taken their 30%, you're now down to $70. So you are technically at 70%. But you have to remember, Webtoon still has its fee to take. And Webtoon takes, did it say 30%? I think Webtoons also takes 30%. So this jumps you down to your net revenue of 70% minus Webtoon's fee. So with all of that said, you're actually looking more at like a 45 to 50% actual takeaway, like with everything done. So this person broke it down that Webtoons would get $21 and that would leave you with $49. So $51 is going to, oh my good grief. Sorry. $51 is going to fees. So at the end of the day, you're not even making 50 cents for that Superlike. Not 50 cents. You're not even making 50% of that Superlike that was purchased, which is kind of crazy to me that the breakdown is so low for them to roll this out in the beginning. I feel like normally, like when companies roll out something, they roll it out where you get a high percentage and then throughout the years they like build on the price. So like we see that with streaming services. That's a good example in my opinion. So like when Disney Plus first came out, they were like, oh, we're going to make everything really, really low and you can join Disney Plus for $4.99. And like throughout time, we see that Disney Plus has like has like brought their price up to compete with like Netflix and all the other streaming services where it's on the same level. Yes, Jess, we're doing math that I didn't do. I'm trusting whoever did this has the breakdown done correctly. And so, like, it's kind of ridiculous because they're getting a larger percentage is going away to other people when Patreon and other services, you get more through them. So it's really weird. And that's why I'm like, legalese can be so confusing, because if you read it and you don't read beyond what you interpreted it to mean, then it's just like, oh, 70%, that's great. I'm willing to give away 30%. But are you actually giving away 30%? And according to all of the research and all of what everyone's been talking about, you're giving away more like 50%. So that in of itself makes me feel like Superlikes are not worth it. Like 50% is a lot. And I mean, it's not worth it in the sense that in the long run, I would rather get 70 cents on a dollar compared to 50 cents on a dollar. And that would make me feel like telling people in like, if I had fans that were willing to donate, I would not be telling them to donate to Webtoons. I would be telling them to donate to my other places where I could get a larger percentage. And it just makes sense. Now, the thing that's confusing about this, what if you buy directly through Webtoon's site? Like, can you get Superlikes on the browser, or is Superlikes only on the app? And I forgot to check this to see like if you could buy in the browser or not. Like, if somebody wants to check that for us to see if like they can pull up the browser and see if you can buy through the internet, like desktop version, then that would be greatly appreciated. Jess said it's not worth it given that they took away the Patreon button on the episodes. So here's the thing about the Patreon button. They said it's coming back, but I feel like it's going to come back in a way that doesn't make sense. Oh, Kaylee Blue said can't do it on the browser. So the only way, so like it's almost like Webtoons is forcing, which I mean a majority of the people read on the phone or on an app or whatever. So it's really interesting to see that. Sorry, my brain, I'm like thinking even more about this. It's just really interesting to see that they're basically saying like, you're getting 50% no matter what. I mean, it's less than 50%, Jess is right, but I'm rounding it up because 50% sounds better than like 49 or 48%, like between 45 and 50%. So it behooves creators to like I would be like, oh, support me on Patreon instead. You can give me $1 there. Like even Patreon, like if you donated the money and then you have direct access to it. Oh, Jess just checked. She said you can't do it on the browser either. So that's 2 people that are saying you can't do it on the browser. Kaylee Blue said, I saw someone say it's because they're too... I'm not sure what you mean when you say lady. I can't think of what word. Oh, lazy. Too lazy to work with a payment processor on the website, but I have no proof of that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense, to be honest. Like, this whole thing seems rushed. And this is why I say it feels like a beta version. I'm like, did y'all not do beta testing on this? Like, where... And this is why I say that Webtoon Canvas treats... Or Webtoon treats Webtoon Canvas like it's Cinderella. Because it's like they just throw stuff out there. And then like when Canvas is in an uproar, they're like, oh my god, how dare you? Webtoon is like, whatever. And it's really a slap in the face a lot of the times to creators. And I'm all about people like being sharks in business and whatnot, but in this type of business where you're working with artists who are generally a little more sensitive, who are generally a little more focused on like, you know, being treated right and, you know, having good working environments, that sort of thing. Like, not saying other people aren't. I'm just saying like for artists, it seems like that is always like a very big thing, like wanting to have like the space to create without any problems. At other jobs, you're just like, oh my god, it's a problem every day. And so it's so much more mentally taxing. And I think with artists, they don't want to have to worry about these things. But it's like, And so whenever companies do this that work with artists, I'm like, why? You could have like framed it in such a better way where you still would have been really sharky about it, but like the artist wouldn't have been like in such an uproar. Like, where's the manipulation? I'm sorry to say it, but I don't know who is in charge of their like rolling out for stuff and whatnot, because I'm just like, you would catch a lot more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Oh, Hugh, hello! Novelist Nikki said, if you search by genre and search by popularity, you see how many likes any series has. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting us know, Nikki. Gatella said, oh wow, not able to tip on the browser. They could have given the creator a bigger percentage with that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I understand the app stores and whatnot are going to have like fees and whatnot, but it's also kind of like, with all of that going on, you still take a large percentage yourself, Webtoons. Like, you could have given the creators a majority. Like, the creator doesn't even get a majority. 49 to 51, that's in your favor. Like, and at the end of the day, they're like, well, you're making more than us. Yeah, barely. Like, barely more than you, Webtoons. It's not, it's barely double. Beanie! Hi, Beanie! I don't know if I got to speak to you earlier. They said, I wouldn't even enable Superlikes at this point. I'm not letting my viewers pay Webtoon thinking it all goes to me. See, and that's another important point that I wanted to talk about when you get down into the financials. Is it even worth activating it when if they're going to support you, you could just tell them to go to your Patreon or go to Ko-fi and you would get a bigger percentage. So like, it's not really even adding an additional revenue stream, in my opinion. It's more like it's competing with the revenue stream, because they don't get any additional perks for the Superlike. They don't get any extra benefits of it. Whereas when they donate on like Patreon or something, they get perks for the whole month. Like, if I was a reader and I wanted to donate to you, I'm like, oh wow, I actually get perks for the whole month by supporting you. Like, I gave you $1 and now I have access to whatever you release in this month, and then I turn it off. I feel like that makes so much more sense than giving it to Webtoons. So it's not marketed right. I'm like, what benefits do the readers get? Like, other people can see that I'm financially supporting this creator? So I don't know. If somebody has another viewpoint on this on the opposite side, please let me know. Let's do a poll. Like, I feel like let's start a poll. What are your thoughts on Superlikes? Love it. Hate it. Need to wait and see, and then burn it with fire and erase it from history. So with that, I'll change this one to dislike it, because clearly that's the hate. I gotta do a fun one. Okay. So erase. And can I not start the poll? Must contain between 1 to 35 characters. Oh, it has too many characters. Dang it! Hold on. Alright, I'll just say burn it. Alright, there we go. Start poll! Okay. So there was a few more comments. Kaylee Blue said it was supposed to come out later, so they rushed it for some reason. Yeah, I feel like this is the beta version. They were like, let's beta test this. Kaylee Blue said, Oh, no. Matt said, Webtoon going public soon, so they need to push revenue. Yes, I do think this is part of their plan. Like, they're trying to up their numbers. Like, look at all this revenue we're getting in. We're getting in so much revenue. They're really trying to, like, boost things up, which makes sense. Hugh said, I think Webtoons just don't have good coders. Is that the problem? Delphi said, even if the Superlight doesn't work, they'll make some money by the amount that people are paying because it's a new feature. Yeah. People are always excited to use new features. Absurd said, I was leaning towards making my own website for my comic. Anyway, but this is just further reason to do so. Webtoon Canvas is only good to use as a branch so that it can reach more people. I feel like that should always be the mentality. Like, for any company that is not hiring you to do something, even companies that hire you, use them because they're using you. So, like, yes, make your own website if you want, but strategically right now, from my understanding and my research, Webtoons is the largest place to post, the quickest way to gain a following, opposed to driving traffic to your own comic. So, take that with a grain of salt. Matt said, I think they have one coder. You might be right. Absurd said, because there's absolutely no way I'm enabling Superlikes or anything if it means someone's generosity isn't even going to the person they wanted it to go to. Yeah. So most of these companies like Patreon and whatnot, they do take a percentage. It's just ridiculous how much of a percentage they're taking on this. Matt said, I think they need one more coder and they might have better luck. Matt, they need a department. Hugh said, yeah, they probably don't have coders that are familiar with JavaScript for PC. For such a big industry, they are surprisingly not good at market research and stuff. Superlikes can be good if they are refined a lot. See, I feel like Superlikes would have been a really fun idea. Okay, I'll get into it a little bit later, but I think it does have potential. So let me finish up this little bit of what I wanted to say. There is now an aspect, I feel, that there's like a pay to win sort of look at things where people can like boost their comics to like getting these high ratings. And I don't know how I feel about that, because it's kind of like we've talked about predatory practices a little bit, and like there's a lot of creators that are like, I believe my series is the next Game of Thrones, and I'm speaking of that in terms of popularity. And so I feel like they might feel they need to invest, like they're seeing this as an investment in their future, where I'm just like, oh, this is stressing me out, because you get some people on there that like really feel like they need to boost their series, because like let's say it's like a really young person using mom and dad's credit card or whatever, and they spend like $500 to boost their series onto like top 3. So that's just them giving Webtoons like $250 every month. Well, half of that, because the other 30% is going to the app store. So it gets in a weird area to me where I don't necessarily like that it's showing like who's spending the most or who's getting the most likes in the month, because it just doesn't sit right with me. It seems wrong, and I could be 100% wrong about that, but it just doesn't sit right with me for like subjective works to be put in that place where it's like you're paying them to win. It's like when people buy followers. It's like, so people aren't actually following your content because they like it. You bought these followers. Also, what is everybody drinking? I'm drinking pink lemonade tonight. So let's look what people had to say on Twitter. So I thought about blacking out the names and whatnot, but I kind of feel like since they posted it publicly, these weren't private messages, that it would be okay to have them up. But I will put out this disclaimer: if you don't want your message to be seen in this video, you can always DM me and I will blur the page so that you're not seen. So I'm going to leave it as is, but I'm just putting that out there for anybody who's interested. So Misery said, I was excited for this new super like feature. I really, really was. But this taking away the Patreon button at the end of episodes does so much damage to creators. If we could somehow get that back, that would be wonderful. And like, that's kind of the sentiment of a lot of creators. Like, a lot of people I feel like were really hopeful, really excited for the super like feature. Like, everybody was thinking like, ooh, a new revenue stream potentially. And I feel like that's a really awesome idea. Like, to have additional revenue streams on Webtoons, like diversifying the business. Like, it's kind of like YouTube. Like, you have like ad share, you have memberships, you have super chats. Like, there's a bunch of revenue streams that people can kind of like, you know, do whatever they want with to kind of like fit their financial needs. And so it's kind of weird that this would be so bad, because I'm like, why didn't you just copy what other people were doing, like YouTube or Twitch or any of that, and just add those things onto your service and just go from there? So then, like, this person, Dio, they said there's a million ways they could put it back. And see right here, it's super easy, super clean. Become a Patreon, super like, right next to each other. There's a 50-50 chance that they're going to do one or the other. And go from there. So I kind of like that. I feel like that's very fair, very easy to read. But I'm worried that Webtoons is not going to do that. I feel like they're going to like make it really difficult, possibly, for people to see the Patreon button. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, like, the way things are going, it doesn't seem right. Delphi said some comic hosting sites give you the option to pay to promote your comic, kind of like Instagram and Google Ads. I don't particularly see an issue of Webtoon doing the same, but they should be transparent about it. So I've tried. Oh, let's end the poll. I forgot about this. So end poll. Oh, we got like a lot of difference in this. So let's start at the bottom. 7% said that they loved it. Okay. I would be interested to hear why you really enjoy this. Please explain to me why you like Superlikes so I can, like, you know, make my opinion more well-rounded. 14% burn it and erase it from history. Love it, love it. 28% said they dislike it, so they don't hate it, but they're not a fan. And then 50% said they need to wait and see. So I'm kind of in the boat of wait and see, but I'm also kind of like not hopeful. Oh, Useros, hello! So glad you can make it to a stream. We haven't gotten to chat in a while. They said, yes, you've made it. Awesome, awesome. And they're drinking a Diet Pepsi. Ooh, that sounds good. Absurd said water because I'm boring and dehydrated. Okay, first of all, you're not boring, but water is a boring choice to drink. But I will say this, it is very good for you. So the white avatar cat, or cat avatar, what did I say we're gonna call you? Avatar cat? I'm gonna go with cat avatar. The cat avatar said, it's morning here, I have coffee, draw my series while I'm listening. Yay! Amelia said Chick-fil-A gave me an extra Diet Coke on accident. Ooh, nice. Your luck is out of this world. Cantel is drinking medicinal tea for swelling. Oh, I hope your swelling goes down. Kaylee Blue said some money nerd probably told them the investors wouldn't like it. I don't know. All right, I got some homework to do. I got to check out. Y'all have a good time. Thanks for joining, Matt. Appreciate you being here. All right, so let's look at a few more comments and then we'll jump on to the other page. So this was the pay to win thing that I was talking about. We see like this creator, they've gotten 1,300 super likes. That's a lot. And so I'm like, okay, I don't necessarily see it being wrong. I just kind of see it being like, everybody talks about contracts being predatory. I find practices like this on a site that has like a bunch of kids on it, a bunch of people that like are not necessarily professionals in the sense, and they could see this as a way to bolster themselves. And I don't know, it just sits with me the wrong way. So I've already elaborated on that, but you know, people are adults, people have their own money, they can spend it the way they want, spend it with no regrets. I'm not fully judging. I'm not judging the people, I'm judging Webtoons. and usually I'm neutral about this stuff, but I can't tell if you guys can tell, but it's kind of like the Superlike thing and the way it's going, it's kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Alright, so this person is expressing their dislike for the way the money is going. I didn't necessarily agree with the comment about tips, but I do agree that there should be a higher percentage. So this is another comment about the breakdown of how much money that you'll get essentially. And it's just like, it's the math is just not mathing. And so here is Webtoons basically just saying like, oh, we're going to bring back Patreon. Patreon is coming back. We've heard you loud and clear. We're working on it. And then Canvas had a breakdown of the revenue. And that's why I'm like, whenever you get any, oh no, I skipped to the next page. Whenever you get any sort of information from people like that, where it's not just like cut and paste, it's always good to read the fine print. So I wanted to include this. I found this on when I was looking for different things on, I think it was on Twitter. It could have been on Instagram, but it had a comparison breakdown. And I did not know this, but on Coffee, you can actually get back 100%. So like if someone donates to you, Coffee has such a low percentage that it's insane. Like I think it said 0 to 5% is what they'll take. And so there's 100% chance that you could get a donation back 100%. Like, that's super insane. So, and both of these, so it just breaks down the benefits. So like the Superlike, you have to stay on the Webtoon app. Webtoon ranks comics based off of money sent by fans. Webtoons lists fans based on money supported in the Webtoon app with fans' consent. So, and then it just has like Coffee. It has that you have to leave Webtoon to use it. And then it has that Ko-fi lists fans based on money support on the Ko-fi page with fans' consent. So same thing. So like they share similarities and whatnot, but I really feel like the percentages is just wild. 100 of $100, 49 of $100, insane. All right, so here are the possible benefits. And I'm going to cover this really quickly because we've literally been talking about the Superlike thing for a while. And I didn't mean for us to talk about it for forever like that, so I apologize. I had a lot to say, and I feel like we all had a lot to say. But the additional revenue streams is always nice. I don't necessarily agree, because now I feel like it's not an additional revenue stream. It's a competing revenue stream within the revenue stream, like foundation that you're trying to build. I do like that Webtoon is trying to innovate, so I would not discourage them from stopping the innovation. Like, try more things, try and figure out things, figure out your own things if you feel like, you know, there's nothing out there that you can copy. But also do some like beta testing, alpha testing, get some like feedback from the people who this is going to affect. I feel like all of that would be very nice, because I feel like a perfect statement that Webtoons could make is, hey, we tested with over 100 creators. We tested with over 1,000 creators, and everybody seemed to like the Superlike thing. No one told us. Like, here's testimony from people. So that could have gone a long way in being like, oh, sorry, we didn't realize that you guys were going to hate it this much. And then I do like that it increases fan engagement. So I feel like the core of any sort of product or any sort of foundation for a business is being able to engage directly with your fans. We see like engagement from certain companies with fans have like brought life back to certain companies. We think about Sassy Wendy on Twitters. Like, so many people were like really excited to engage with Wendy and whatnot. So it's very interesting to be able to have like different ways for fans to interact with you and for you to be able to interact with fans and acknowledge them for all that they do for you. So I like all of that. I like it. But I just feel like Superlikes, whatever it's called, it needs to be tweaked. Also, I can't remember if I said hi, Adagong, or not, but hello! Welcome to the stream! White Cat is fine. I cannot change my name right now. It's no worries. I just wasn't sure what to call you, so I was like, I hope I'm addressing you correctly. So, La Blanc. What's cat in French? Kayla Blue said, we can always shame them for it like game whales. I mean, yeah. Adagong said, disgusting behavior this is. Yeah, Adagong, I agree. I'm not really too happy with this sort of business practice, and I'm all about businesses acting like businesses. This just doesn't seem right to me. Janisha said, hello, listening while working on printing stickers, and I'm drinking pomegranate juice. Ooh, is that good? I want to try that. And what are your stickers? I'm interested. I want some stickers. I love stickers. I'm one of those people that likes put stickers all over my cup. So I'm one of those. And like once the cup is done, I'm like, new cup, please. Adagong said, honestly, need to get my comic on other platforms sooner than later. Adagong and any other creators, it only behooves you to upload your comic on other platforms. It sucks, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's really beneficial unless you have an exclusive contract. Cantella said, a Superlike ranking? Yeah, it's crazy. Cantella said, yes, I use Ko-fi to donate to other artists. Adagong said, should I try Ko-fi now? I think you could. Ko-fi, Patreon. I feel like whatever makes the most sense for you. I know a lot of people, I feel like, use Patreon, so that might be an easier sell. But I feel like a lot of people use Ko-fi too. At least having it set up won't hurt you. And then you'll always get an email about, like, you know, if you get a donation. Usero said, the Superlight is kind of icky, but I can see the potential for it. It's just really tricky to navigate. I will say the ranking with Superlight doesn't sit right with me at all because it imposes another hierarchy on top of the regular ranking and promotions and self-imposed stuff too. Like, keep the Superlikes private, you know, because those are about things that just me, though, I can be beneficial, but it needs to be handled better. Yeah, see, it's just weird to me because it really puts an emphasis on a platform that almost has like this idea that if you get popular enough, you can become an original. So like the more you invest into it, the more chances you have of becoming original. And I feel like that's going to be a lot of people's thinking. And that's what worries me. Adagong said, yeah, these Superlikes are funky. Agreed. Hugh said, in the end of the day, Webtoon US is the adopted child of Naver. Webtoon US is Cinderella as well. And I feel so like it's Cinderella, and then like Canvas is like Cinderella minus like everything else. Like, it's insane. I don't understand sometimes. Adagong said, not every artist would want the Superlight numbers public. Yeah? Kaylee Blue said, I put stickers on my washer and dryer. Oh, that sounds kind of cute, to be honest. I like that, Kaylee. I paid for them. I will decorate them. Please do. Please do. Amelia said, does anybody know why it seems everybody's on Patreon over coffee? I think it's an advertisement thing, maybe. Like, I feel like a lot of creators and a lot of people, like, it's one of those things where I feel like people like jump on a bandwagon. Like, everybody says, what's that? Like NordVPN. Like all of a sudden, a bunch of YouTubers were talking about NordVPN. And so like everybody like jumped over and was like, oh yeah, NordVPN. But there's other VPN services you can use. I think it was just kind of like that. Like all of a sudden, a lot of people just started talking about Patreon over coffee. And I think it just kind of escalated from there. Hugh said, Webtoons need to study Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, etc. to see how those models work. Yes, agreed. BD said, Aragon, you ever tried Global Comics? I read a lot on there personally, and they are good about promoting their comics. I get regular email newsletters with them, all kinds of comic spotlights. Oh, Beanie, I would love to hear your thoughts on Global Comics. Like, I know about Global Comics, I look at their stuff, but I haven't really, researched them to the degree that I think I should. Cantelis said I put stickers on my old paint box and PC, or for my students' books when they perform good. Oh, that's cute. Cantella's a pianist, if you guys didn't know. She's awesome. She makes music too. So, support her YouTube channel. I don't know how often you upload on there, but Cantella's music's so beautiful. Absurd said, I think Patreon is something more people are familiar with than Coffee, but I have both. I only made one after I heard that someone weren't able to donate to subscribe to Patreon where I live. Yeah, that's super smart. Janisha said, I've never thought to put them on the washer and dryer. That makes it extra colorful. Yes. Everybody loves that, Kaylee. That was such a good idea. Hugh said, Coffee is very late into the market. Janisha said, and I'm making space plant stickers. Ooh, I want to see that. Send me an image on Instagram, please. Jess said, I just think Patreon has more name recognition, so people look to support creators, trust it more. Yeah, that's what I think too. Okay, there's so many comments. I love chatting with you guys, but I'm we've already gone into an hour talking about Superlikes, and I don't want this to be another crazy 2-hour long video. So let's move into our next story. The Tapas Clipstudio Global Comic Awards. So they have this contest that's going on. That's very exciting. So here is the basic submission details. And it has, if you want, take a screenshot of this and then you can have it on your phone or whatever, or you can go to their website, link in the description down below. So the theme is The Last Train, and the type of comic or type of story that you need to enter is a comic. The format submission, it must be scrolling format, so it cannot be page. That means that if you have something in page that you were thinking about submitting, then you're going to have to redo it. The submission length is 15 to 75 panels, broken up into a maximum of 5 episodes, which that's kind of crazy to me a little bit sometimes, because I feel to tell most people have at least 30 to 60 panels in one episode, like in a lot of the professional ones. So your storytelling has got to be on point. So it has no age restriction. It must be in English. The number of submissions, it says you may post more than one entry. However, you cannot post the same entry more than once. Submissions should not be posted on other platforms during the contest and judging period. So you can't post it on Webtoons or any other of the comic hosting sites, which all of that is just the overview. Let's look at the website. There were a few things that I want to highlight that I think all of you guys should be aware of. So let's close this and this. Okay. Oh, so let's see. Delphi said, I like Global Comics a lot better than Tapas. It's still not Webtoon levels of readership, but the analytics are very good, and some people even comment. Ooh, woo, woo. Nice, Delphi. Are you posting your pirate series on that? Adagong said, oh, you're talking to someone. White Cat said, Thai Webtoon sucks. No support for Canvas. It just start Canvas bonus this year. Aw, well, I hope that it builds itself up. Maybe you're in the very early stages, but hopefully it'll get better. Yes, it is train time. We're all about this contest right now, guys. Yuzuro said, I have both. I use Patreon for more exclusive content and Ko-fi for just a tip jar. I like that. I like that. But I'm thinking of using Ko-fi more because it has more features and it's easier to navigate. Ooh, I like that. Hi, Rose. Inkverse is very small. Yes, I did an interview with the Inkverse. If you guys haven't checked that out, please do. Danny and his team, they are super awesome, super nice. I loved it. They have a lot of passion for Inkverse, and I just hope it succeeds. They said Inkverse is very small, smaller than Global Comics, but they just unveiled a Patreon feature where you can have people pay for Patreon content that's also hosted on Inkverse. Oh, they were talking about that coming very soon. So I'm super excited that that's actually working out for them. That's awesome. Cantella said 75 panels feels very short. It feels extremely short. Hugh said 75 panels seems like it's only one scene and one conversation. That is what it seems like, to be honest. Hey, Shane's here. Everybody say hey to Shane. I think this is the first time Shane has ever been on stream with me. Show him some love, please. I would really appreciate that. Shane has been a supporter since like Pantheon Talks first came on the scene. Like, I think I want to say like in the first month that we were like making content, we found writer Shane and have been following each other since then. Awesome. Let's see. Adagong said, I still remember that Little Red Riding Hood idea you made up from before. Yes. So I'm going to get into that a little bit when I get into the benefits. But let me go through this first and then we can talk about that. Okay, so the contest period, that was something that I did want to bring up. It's from now until June 30th. So you still have a good amount of time, like almost 2 months, to get the 75 panels done, which is very doable. I'm thinking about streaming the making of that story on Patreon. We'll see how it goes. So here are the prizes, which I thought was very important. Grand prize, $3,300, 3 years of Clipstudio Paint EX for a single device. Second and third prize winners are $1,000. 3 years of Clipstudio, and then 10 winners, you'll get $120, and then 1 year of Clipstudio EX. So that's pretty awesome. And then they have all of these supporters, which is super cool. So there is a frequently asked question part here, which I think is really important if you do have some additional questions. I saw that there was a bunch of stuff on here, so it would be really important. Like if you want to know, can we enter as a team? It said absolutely. You can read the rest if you care. Then it says, can I use an already existing series for this event? If you have a series that fits the theme and submission length, you can submit it to the contest. Please note that we are looking for short stories. That means the story should be concluded within 75 panels, so the series should not be ongoing. So to me, that reads that it has to have a beginning and end. Like, it shouldn't be left open-ended unless it's an open-ended type story, if that makes sense. Can I post my submission on other platforms? We just answered that. Can I submit more than one entry? We answered that. Can I submit a novel instead of a comic? So they're like, this contest is for comic creators only. So they're trying to spotlight comic creators, no novelists. Do I have to be in the US to participate? No, you can be anywhere as long as your local law does not prohibit participating in this type of event. You will need a bank account or PayPal account to receive the winnings. When and how will you announce the winners? Winners will be announced on July 22nd, 2024. We will contact the winners via email connected to their Tapas account. Prizes will be given out by the Clipstudio Paint team, which is awesome. So like they're doing a quick turnaround on this. All right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this. Like, check out this page. Again, it's linked in the description. Let's pull the PowerPoint back up. All right. Oh, Bernie said the panel limit is based on Japanese manga one-shot standards. JP one-shots are supposed to be 10 pages, 15 at the maximum. Notice the comic publishers attached to the contest are mostly Japan-based. Oh, thanks, Bernie. That's actually very helpful. I didn't know that. Writer Shane said, Patreon is more widespread and mainstream, so for the time being, I think it's better. Yeah. Also, I don't think I answered you, Shane. I'm doing pretty good. A little tired tonight, but we're pushing through. Rose said, hi, Shane. From what I've heard, Patreon has more users, much like Webtoon has more users than most webcomic platforms. Yep. All right, so looking back at this, how this benefits you. I feel like the contest, because it's very constricting and it has a very straightforward narrative of what it wants, it gives us a chance to gain more experience and level up as artists and writers. There's a lot of benefits, in my opinion, to entering into a contest because especially a contest that's not in your wheelhouse. If you're a superhero writer or you're, some sort of other writer and it's in a genre that you're not familiar with or something like that, that can be a really good experience. Or if you're more of a long-winded writer where normally for you to tell a good story, you might need 200 panels or you might need 300 panels to really wrap up the story. I feel like this is a great example of being able to, really flex your mental muscles and figure out how to write the story in a way that's going to be effective for the audience as well as for the people who will be judging it. And then as an artist, being able to really sit down and pump this out within the time frame. Maybe you're a little slower, maybe you're generally not as detailed, but for the contest you want the panels to be really polished and really high quality. All of that could help you grow, help us grow as creators. So I like that idea. And then of course the prizes, who doesn't like money? So, but I think what's also another great thing about this is the acknowledgement. Going forward, you can talk about oh, well, I won this award, I did this. When we look at Rachel from Lore Olympus, she often has a lot of accolades tied to her name. So people will be the Eisner winner, the New York Times best-selling author, stuff like that. So I feel like this could also be something you could put on your resume that gives you a little bit of power when you're in business talks or in negotiations with people, that you're not just some random nobody, you've been recognized in the industry for your talents. And then corporations and companies. So I think if your story is successful, let's say you're one of these 13 winners, I think you could have, that means that maybe your story is on track with something being marketable for a company and something being of interest to a company. And this could also possibly, I didn't want to put networking on here because I feel like I try to make everything a networking event, but this is also a chance for you to have a contact at Tapas or at any of these other companies that might reach out to you to be hey, you won this, good job. It opens up so many opportunities, and who knows, maybe Clipstudio might like your art style and be yes, we love you. We would love for you to do a Clipstudio class with us or something like that. So there's a lot of opportunity, I feel, that could really help grow yourself as an artist, a business person. There's so many benefits to this contest. Beanie said, Clipstudio is so slow with paying. I won one of their tip prizes 2 months ago, and they still haven't paid me. What? That's crazy. How dare they? Maybe they'll be different since they're collabing with all of these people. Amelia said, I feel like 15 to 75 is huge range. Is it? Amelia, you might just be a pro storyteller. I'm a little long-winded, as you can tell on these streams. Uzero said 75 pounds is tricky, but it's doable. It kind of forces you to condense and come down to a solid message and theme and stay with it. It's a good learning experience. I know Webtoon short story contest really tested me, but it also helped me with my long form stories because it helped me learn how to convey a clear message or a clear scene. I would definitely recommend doing it for yourself, whether you win or not. It is really good learning experience. I agree with that. And that's why I feel like I really want to enter this. As I told you guys, like, I think the Little Red Riding Hood idea for this would be super fun. The only thing about it is, like, because it can't be left open-ended, I really need to, like, have a strong beginning, strong middle, strong ending to convey everything. But, like, Little Red Riding Hood kind of outlines exactly what needs to happen from beginning to end. And I feel like I could definitely do that. So, I'm super excited. I definitely think that I'm going to do more work on the story, and hopefully during like our 10-minute chats, maybe I'll show you guys some of the character designs and whatnot. But I am very excited for this contest. I hope that, you know, all of you guys get a chance to enter, and if not, you know, you guys can support all of us who do. Maybe we'll do a stream once they do like the what's the word? The contest ends. I'll do a live stream where we can like read everybody's short stories that are like in the chat or that asked me to. All right, our last story of the day. Okay, so a lot of webcomics, webtoons are getting TV and movie adaptations. And what's awesome about this, in my opinion, is I feel like it's just making a lot of people's dreams come true. Like, I know as a kid, I definitely was like, I would love to have like one of my series on, what was it, 4Kids TV back then or something like that? Cartoon Network. Any of those. And so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to really have, like, Webtoons is really conveying to me, like, that it's very much a possibility for creators to have these dreams come true. Like, I feel like it's not a far-fetched idea anymore to be like, yeah, it's a long shot for my series to ever become a TV show. So I think that this is awesome. This is such a good opportunity for any creators that work with Webtoons, which leads me back to contracts. Like, if you definitely want your series to be a TV or a movie, it's not too early to be talking about that. I don't care if they're like, we don't even know if your series is going to be successful yet. I'd be like, yeah, but we can still put in the contract. It's not going to cost you anything to put in the contract. So, with that being said, freaking romance. I remember when I first joined Webtoons, this thing, like, so many people were talking about this series, and I don't know, like, the quality of it per se. I don't think I've ever read it. I can't remember if I've read it or not, but, like, people were always talking about it. Bernie said, I wanted a show on Jetix. Okay, Bernie. So there was this show on Jetix back in the day, and it was like these monkey robots. And I loved the main character. What was it called? Anyway, the main character's name was Chiro, and I was obsessed with that name. I thought he was like the bee's knees. And so in my first like story that I ever like started writing, my main character, and his name wasn't Shiro? It wasn't Shiro. It was, what was it? It was Shichiro, and I loved it. It was, I just had so many good moments from that. What was that show called? It was such a long name too, and it was about monkeys. I'm having a moment over here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump back on the story, but I might shout it out later. So just be prepared. But anyway, Freaking Romance is getting an adaptation, but not just Freaking Romance. I'm the Grim Reaper is getting an adaptation as well, and I thought that was really crazy because Grave has been doing so much work for a while, and I always felt like Their series was awesome. I felt like it had like a fun concept. I like Grave as a creator. I like Snailords as a creator. Sometimes. I was like, well, I need to be honest. Like, I think Snailords is so much fun. Sometimes I just question the decisions they make. But I like both of them. I definitely feel like me and Grave would vibe out hardcore. And so I'm really excited that they're both getting adaptations. From what I understand, Freaking Romance is going to be live action. I think it's going to be a movie. So let's look at the article real quick. The one for Graves is really short. Like, it's not even an article. It's basically just like telling us who's doing it. Which, let's look at that first, I guess, since it's super short. Adagong said, I remember binging Freaking Romance. I thought it was a good read. Art was amazing and characters were likable. Pacing was awkward though. Interesting. Yeah, it did kind of fall off towards the end. Yeah, I heard the end wasn't that good, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Kentella said, having an anime of your stories is a big dream. I definitely think so. Bernie said, I love them. The pink monkey was my favorite. Yes, Bernie. We're the same brain. Adagong said, Kentella. Oh, you're talking to Kentella. Just said, I really like Freaking Romance. The sex scene? Oh. Played out a little weird. But other than that, I liked it. I gotcha. Bernie said, I think it was Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. That's what it was called. It was amazing. Adagong says, so is I'm the Grim Reaper adaptation going to be live action or animated? Okay, so it says Sam Raimi's team, and from what I understand, Sam Raimi generally does live action, right? But like in the little article, I don't think it says, so I'm scrolling it down so you can see, and it's literally just this. It's like, it has who these people are up here that we just looked at. And then it says, to adapt, I'm the Grim Reaper from Webtoon, created by Grave Weaver. And then it says, like, Sam Raimi, he's going to be executive producer. And then it talks a little bit about, like, the series. So it has this down here, which is just more like what they've worked on, that sort of thing. And that's pretty much it. So, like, it really doesn't have any details, but I would think it's going to be live action. So. And then we have this from, I wish they would have gotten a comment from Grave. Like, that would have been nice. Come on, people. So, Freaking Romance. And I feel like Freaking Romance is close to happening in a sense because, like, Webtoons was posting all over the place about it. Like, they posted on Twitter, they posted on Instagram, like, Snailords posted about it. So I feel like something's going to really happen with that one. Because, like, you know, things get announced and then they don't happen. But I feel like something's going to happen with Snailords. So Snailords did make a comment. So they said, I started working with Webtoon after entering into one of their contests while I was in college. And I could never have imagined that one day that relationship would end up with me having my very own film adaptation. Said Snailords in a statement. Creating original stories is my passion in life, and I'm grateful to my incredible audience for supporting me and being with me every step of the way. I'm excited for Wattpad, Webtoon Studios, and Skybound to take my storytelling to a place it hasn't been before. The movies. So Snailords, I feel like here is confirming that this Freaking Romance is going to be a movie. Which is cool. Maybe it'll be like, you know, like a Twilight where it's like multiple movies, a couple of movies, that sort of thing. That could be fun. I'll be interested to see if it's going to go to theaters. That would be huge for Webtoons. Or if it's going to be like a Netflix movie sort of situation. So I'll just have to wait and see. And I thought it was interesting to note that Skybound, they've worked on things like Transformers, G.I. Joe, they've worked on The Walking Dead and Invincible. I love Invincible. I thought Invincible was so good. We'll pull the PowerPoint back up. Play from current slide. There we go. Oh, we got some new comments. Hugh said, doesn't seem like the movie will have a high budget, sadly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think freaking romance needs a high budget. Isn't it like about a girl in an apartment or something? Like, they would just need like basic effects for like the ghost, other dimension scenes. I don't know what it's called. Adagon sucks. Sam Raimi, hope he's the right fit as the director of the Evil Dead trilogy. Yeah, I don't know. Sam Raimi can be hit or miss. Writer Shane said, I really liked I'm the Grim Reaper, so I'll most likely check it out. Yeah, definitely check. I feel like I'll check it out too. I don't know. I feel like Graves' storytelling for that kind of lends itself a little bit towards horror, so I'm kind of worried about that aspect. Like, I don't want to be scared, and I'm afraid of my shadow. Kaylee Blue said, it seems like an Amazon Prime movie. I can see that too. Yeah, Amazon. I would say Apple, but Apple really does like Oscar type stuff, like very like high level storytelling. So I don't know if it would be a fit on Apple. Writer Shane said, Webtoons slowly getting picked up for adaptation are definitely a step in the right direction. The platform has improved a lot since I joined. Agreed. Adagon, you've never watched Invincible? Stop whatever you're doing and watch it now. Like, I wouldn't say it's in my top 3, but it's definitely in my like top 20. Writer Shane said, although it still has its fair share of controversy. It always has controversy, and that's partly on Webtoon's fault. Like, they need someone working their PR team, for real. Like, I don't know what's going on over there, but I feel like they need like a massive PR agent. They need Olivia Pope. Adagon said, think Freaky Romance still needs a strong budget for sci-fi elements and parallel worlds. I just haven't read it, so I don't know how it works. Like, they might need the budget, so I can't speak. You've read it, you're a fan, Adagon, so I feel like if the fans say that it needs a strong budget, please, people, don't skimp out on the budget. Okay, so why adaptations help creators? I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I really want to say, like, so it is a nice additional revenue stream, or it could be additional revenue. Maybe you get a lump sum payment. So it's always nice to, not have all of your eggs in one basket, looking for opportunities, looking for additional revenue streams. I will say that adaptations are exciting for fans, and especially younger fans. Like, whenever I was reading, before I got more critical, if I read a book and I found out it had a movie, that just excited me. And it didn't matter if the movie was bad or not. I was just like, ooh, I'm so excited for the movie. Like, and I loved it. And I feel like there's this weird aspect where if you, like nowadays, if people who watch the series, that it wasn't in the past as strongly as it is now, but if you watch the series and you like the series, people are like, oh, you're not liking like, it's missing so much. You would like it so much better if you read the original series. But a lot of people don't like to read, and that's what it boils down to. And so I'm just happy at this point, like, if the creator's story, although it's been butchered, touches those people's hearts, I'm gonna let it slide. I will still have my opinion and be like, yeah, the written version is better. But don't steal people's joy if they enjoy it. Like, you never know. Like, if it is what it is. And so adaptations, they can build and expand the fan base. So, like, now that you have the anime only or the movie only people, then this kind of makes it where it's like, okay, these people are into this type of storytelling and whatnot, and so they're adding on to the fan base that's there, and so it's making the creator more successful, motivating them to make more stories, or being able to be financially secure enough to continue making the stories. Oh, and I misspelled that. Reviews the source material. So I meant to put it revives the source material. So there's a lot of instances where like, so I don't know if you guys know this, but The Princess Diaries was originally a book series. And the fan base for that series, what's interesting about this is the books are completely different from the movies. Like they kind of restructured, remade the entire series. And so the movies are really different, but the movies were such a success. Both fans and the people of the series loved it. And so it revived that material and it like set the creator up to be in a better position than they were from, you know, their masterpiece that they created. No, it was improved on actually in the movie adaptation. So there are instances where like changes can be good depending on how it's framed and how it's made. And so Anne Hathaway went on to make that series a franchise, more or less, which, how amazing would it be for you to write one book and then it gets turned into a franchise? And so like, you know, they're consulting her, they're, you know, asking the creator to build on this. So there's a lot that can come from getting your series adapted into live action. And then it levels you up as an artist or creator. So like, you know, you're not just a writer now. You're not just an artist now. You're an artist or a writer that has a movie. An artist or a writer that has a TV show. Which is so cool to have those accolades behind your name. Let's see. Writer saying, why don't you apply to be Webtoon's PR agent? Listen, when that post goes up, I'm applying. Hughes said, Korean webtoons are already made into K-dramas frequently. I'm more of a fan of original movies, haha. So, I don't know my thoughts on K-dramas. They just never seem right to me. Like, I feel like over here, this might get me in trouble, but I feel like the US does a decent job on like live action acting, like in like high school-ish sort of stuff, like that Riverdale type of stuff. Like I'm not saying it's high quality. I'm just saying like I feel like over here they do it a little better, I guess, because to me the K-dramas never sit right. Like things just don't seem right in K-dramas to me. Whereas over there I feel like y'all like they pop off on animation and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, then I think about things like Parasite and whatnot, and I'm just like, maybe it's just the K-drama. Maybe it's just that genre in particular. I don't know what to say about it, but it just doesn't sit right with me a lot of the time. I've never watched any K-drama that I've just been like, this is so good. So please don't attack me. I'm sorry. Hugh said basically the omniscient reader fandom. You've got read the novel. The webtoon is missing out so much. Yeah, exactly. Jess said reading is so much more of time commitment than watching a movie, and people are busy. Are people busy? I know a lot of people that just sit on the couch and do nothing. Amelia said apparently Bridgerton, the show, is a lot better than the books. I feel like it maybe. I don't know. Season 2 was kind of not my favorite. But I'm not a fan of Bridgerton enough to read the books. Beanie said, the later books even call out the movie for being completely different. Princess Diaries. Yes. I was reading that. I was like, oh, dang. So I feel like it is very interesting because like, it just creates so much for a creator, for the fandom. And I don't know why creators hate it so much. I'm like, it's not like you wrote it. Like, it's inspired by you. Like, I'm sure that the people who wrote, like, Little Red Riding Hood or, like, a fairy tale or, like, the Olympians and stuff like that would be highly offended that we're using that as source material in this day and age. So, I'm just putting it out there. I said what I said. Kaylee Blue said, I don't really get with the idea that comics are a stepping stone to better medium of movies. After the MCU started, a lot of idea guys wanted to make comics to get movies, and it was a little annoying. I don't know if I said that or if you're just saying that yourself, but I don't think necessarily that it's a better medium. What I mean is it's better in the sense that a lot of people consume that medium, which is better for the creator because your work is spreading to a bigger fan base. So now you have it in written, you have it in comic visual, and now you have it in TV visual. So like there's all these different types of way to consume the content that you create as a creator, which I think is amazing. And so that is our 3 stories for the day. Delphi said maybe it's the cultural differences. Are we talking about the K-drama thing? It could be the cultural differences. Hugh said, well, a lot of manga are made to be animes someday too. Yep. Delphi said, movies is not the better medium, but it is a lot more accessible. Yeah, I agree with that. Delphi said everyone watches movies, not as many people read books/comics. Oh, Pickled Shoe. Hi, Pickled Shoe. Everybody say hello. This is the first time I think they've been in chat. They said you can have the Patreon on desktop and Superlikes on mobile. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks so much. Adagong said comics and movies are mediums that require very different skills to master. Movies may be more accessible, but they're not automatically better. I 100% agree with that, Adagong. I think that both require a certain amount of skill, a certain amount of love and passion, and you have to be committed to these things to get them right. So with our 3 stories of the day, I had so much fun talking to you guys about them. I'm going to wrap it up there on these, and we're going to transition into our question and comments. I'm just going to do maybe 5 to 10 minutes on this. This has been a long stream, much longer than I anticipated it being. So I'm kind of like, you know, I'm sputting out, like I'm like barely making it. So, and I'm sorry if I was super low energy tonight, guys. I did my best. I didn't want to cancel this stream. I really wanted to talk about these topics with you all. So thank you so much for being here, for putting up with me. I really appreciate it. So now you can ask me whatever you would like. That just know that doesn't mean I have to answer it. So you can ask me my favorite color. You can ask me my plans for the future. You can ask me what my favorite season is. I'm all here for it. Hugh said, Red Riding Hood comic win. What do you mean? Delphi said, also, movies require a lot more people to make. Doing comics is a lot more introspective. I really like the way you phrased that, Delphi. Movies do require a lot. Like, there's a lot involved, from the filming process to the editing process to the marketing campaign. It's a lot. Amelia said, what's your MBTI? MBTI. I'm not sure what that means. Is that an acronym? Cantella said, when's your birthday? My birthday is in August. I'm a Leo. White Cat said, hope my series becomes TV series someday. Good day. I hope your series becomes a TV series as well. That would be so awesome. White Cat, you'll have to let us know what your series is so we can check it out. We need to support you, bestie. I'm sorry. My brain is still like trying to low-key figure out what MBT. Oh, that personality test. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was the politician. What? I don't know the acronym for it. Like, I took it years ago, and I really like personality tests, but I don't remember. I think it was the politician, or it was like the negotiator. One of the two, but I'm almost positive it was the politician. Myers-Briggs test. Yes. Myers-Briggs. Just said, do you like sci-fi, Apollo? Okay. I just watched the 3-Body Problem and it was good. So, no, but yes. So I like sci-fi that's not presented to me as sci-fi. So like, I like for something to have scientific elements a lot of the times, but I'm generally not a fan if it's like Star Wars or Star Trek, which I actually like Star Trek more than I like Star Wars. But generally, if it's like heavy on the science or the science fiction, it's just not for me. Like, I'm just not a fan. I started 3-Body Problem and I couldn't get into it. So I don't know if that like answers your question or not. But I do like certain sci-fi. It just depends. Amelia said it's like horoscopes for corporate people. Yes. It kind of is like that, to be honest. It's a little weird. Jess said Apollo seems like a Leo. Do I seem like a Leo? Everybody I meet tells me that I don't seem like a Leo. They're like, "You're a Leo?" I'm like, "Yeah, for the most part." Delphi said, "What's something cool you've watched or read this week?" Ooh. So I'm currently reading. Okay, I can tell you all the stuff that I read this week. So I read Mafia Nanny this week. I just started that and I like it. It's fun. So I read that. But what I'm actually reading right now. So there's this author. Her name is Chanda Han. And so she does a lot of fairy tale reimagining. And when I thought of Little Red Riding Hood coming out, or not coming out, of me making a story about that, I was like, ooh, I should really start consuming some fairy tale stories and whatnot. And so I remembered this writer because I really liked her writing style. And she always does like these fun twists on fairy tales, and that's all she writes in. Like, she doesn't write anything else. So right now I'm reading Of Beast and Beauty, and it's such a fun read. So it's about basically there's this sorceress witch, I don't know what to call her, and she has 7 daughters, and she plans to get vengeance on 7 kingdoms with these 7 daughters. And each daughter is essentially one of like the main princesses of stuff. So like the first story that I'm reading right now that I'm almost done with is about Beauty and the Beast. And so it's like has all of these like different like mystery elements to it where it's kind of like a whodunit. So like you're trying to figure out, well, who's Beauty? Who's the Beast? Like, so the Beast is there and he's like killing people. And so the Beauty is she's able to like astral project, or she's able to like see from the Beast's point of view or something like that. I'm trying not to do too many spoilers. And so it's like, oh man, like you're trying to figure out like who the Beast is, who is in the room. The Beast killed these people and these people were in the room. So this person must be the Beast, but they can't be the Beast. Oh wait, they just died. And so like, it's been a super fun story. And I'm loving it so much. So like, it's weird because I don't think of this character as Belle at all. And like the Beast is a shapeshifter. So, which they're a shapeshifter in the original story, but they're a werewolf in this. So it's super cool. I love it. It's so fun. So that answers that. That's my fun thing that I've been doing this week. Adagong said, ever thought of a book or short story that could be made into an awesome movie? We don't ever bring up those when discussing original versus source material films. Ever thought of a book or short story that could be made into an awesome movie? I haven't really thought of... I mean, kind of everything I read that I like, I would love to see it in a visual form. So I haven't really thought too much on any in particular. But I will say that after reading Superpowers, that series that's getting made into a Webtoons by Pantheon, I'm so excited for that. And I wish, like, that series would be so popular as, like, the next, like, Riverdale or The Flash or something from like the CW, because I could definitely see like a bunch of people being really interested in it. Like it's right around like kids who just graduated from high school, college era, and so like they're getting into like all of those shenanigans that you get into when you're like finally free from your parents. Cantella said, what's your favorite webtoon genre? I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite genre. I can tell you like what my favorite series are on there. So I would probably say it's either thriller, superhero, or heartwarming. One of those. Beanie said, you should watch the first 2 Alien movies. They're so good. Is it scary? I feel like Alien was scary. And I don't do good with scary. Like, I freak out at my shadow. Like, for real, for real. Like, I don't like to go outside at night for fear that I might walk into a spider web. Jess said, I bet you're on the cusp of Virgo, though. It's the orderliness. Maybe? I do love things to be in order. Rose said, ooh, love fairy tale retellings, and I read that story. What's your favorite retelling, Apollo? Wait. You read, what was her name? The Han author? You read? What? If we're talking about her, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up her story list. Because there is one a series that she wrote that I really, really like. Unenchanted. That was my favorite that she wrote. It's so good. Oh, Rose, what did you think? What did you think of the story? I'm very curious now. Beanie said, the first Alien is more thriller, the second is more action thriller. Beanie, I'm going to trust you and give it a chance. But I'm scared. Let's see. Rose, you're going to have to DM me so we can talk about this book when I'm done, because I need somebody to talk to about it. Adagong said, both of the Alien films are fantastic. Alright, y'all convinced me. I will try. And I generally trust Adagong's movie recommendations. So I'm going to give it a go. And since Beanie brought up the proposal and Adagong co-signed it. So between you two, I'm trusting y'all. Don't do me dirty. Alright, well, I'm going to wrap up here. We're going to close comments. And so let's do our creator shout out. Oh, Kentella said, I think JP horror films are scarier. Aliens didn't give me nightmares. We'll see, Kentella. I don't know if I trust any of y'all. Alright, so this week's creator shout out is for the series The Barrier Scroll. And recently, I found this artist on Instagram, and I really like their art style, and they happen to be following me. So I was like, oh, awesome. This works for the creator shout out. So let's read the description. Oriel dreams of finding the barrier scroll. Oh, and I might butcher some of the names, so I apologize. Oriel dreams of finding the barrier scroll and the prosperity it promises those worthy to wield it. Whisked away to harness her abilities, she finds fellowship in the renowned Onyx Guard and an unlikely ally in the rigid soldier Rhine Aelray. As her powers grow, so does the desire by Emperor Sunneth to obtain the rare and ancient magic many thought vanish. As war looms, Oriel will discover things about herself that will change the course of the conflict and what she believed forever. So it looks very epic, and from what I read, the description, it said that If you liked Vox Machina, and I forgot what else it said, but it has that sort of vibe from the image, like the Vox Machina vibe. And so I thought, ooh, this would be such a fun series to read. So we might actually read the first few episodes on the stream when we do the reading, you know, y'all's comics. So remind me, this might be one of the series we read. I think it'd be so fun. All right, and the question to the community, so please comment down below after the video has ended with the reveal of how Superlikes works. What is your honest opinion of this new feature? I would love to hear your honest opinion, guys. So I'm still on the fence, waiting to see what happens, but I want to know what you think of it right now. And just as a little prompt from me, on Patreon this month, we are going to have our next Apollo Rambles, which I think is going to be a reoccurring series on Patreon, where I kind of just talk about things that are going on, things that I'm interested in. So if you can't tell, they're not all Webtoon related. I'll try to keep them Webtoon related, but this is going to be a series where it's just like me hanging out, and you can totally sub for just $1 to have access to this and the random other streams that I do where I'm just working on like future projects and any other endeavors. Like right now, everything is kind of open to have access for everybody, so even the $1 tier gets exclusive access to stuff. It's more than just a tip jar. And with that, thank you to our patrons, including the new ones. I really appreciate all of you guys. And so, we have now made it to the end of the stream. And I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me for the last 2 hours. I will catch you all in the next video. I'm going to go into my outro mode. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, leave us a like, a comment, and most definitely ring the bell. A huge thank you and shout out to our patrons. If you'd like to support us while getting some extra content we don't post on Instagram or YouTube, then head on over and check out our Patreon. Be sure to follow us on all our social media accounts, link in the description. We are particularly active on Instagram, so if you want to chat with us, then feel free to pop on by. All right, we will catch you in the next video.